Welcome to Faith Over Breakfast. You are listening to a podcast by Pastor Eric Deepen and Pastor Andy Littleton. If you enjoy Faith Over Breakfast, we encourage you to rate it on the Apple Podcast app, on Spotify, or Google Play. Thank you and enjoy the podcast. Welcome to Faith Over Breakfast. My name is Pastor Eric Deepen, and I'm across from Pastor Andy Littleton.
Hi.
He's pastor of Mission Church in Tucson, Arizona, and I am pastor of the Village in Tucson, Arizona. And we have a goofy podcast today, but it's fun.
On stuff that's so CCM, Christian contemporary music style, is trending. It's popular,
and we talk about why that might be happening.
Yeah,
and let's take it for what it is.
It is what it is.
We had fun.
Yeah.
And, leave us a review. Put some stars on there.
5's great.
Subscribe. $3, $5, $10.
$100.
Or just send us $100,000 check so that we can do this full time for a while.
But make sure you put on there that we can use it for whatever we think is most beneficial.
Right.
Okay.
Like your Ferrari? That's not essential. Okay. Just checking. I want to make sure.
I'd put a new roof on the Village.
Oh, okay. A new roof on the Village?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
There you go.
Let's do that.
That's what I would do.
All righty. We'll enjoy, guys. All righty.
Sure started. No, I think it's this one. Okay, listen. What is this? What genre is this? What station did I hear this on?
K-Love.
Right. That's the discussion.
Yeah, okay. What's the discussion?
So I just started playing a song.
You did.
And I said, what station did I hear this on? And you said, K-Love, which is the pop Christian station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's their little tagline? Like uplifting something? And
positive, inspiring, something.
Uplifting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, Eric.
Yes.
Wrong. That's not where I heard that song.
Yeah.
So, I just played a song for you, Eric, which was, and I asked you, where did I hear this? And your answer was K-Love, positive, inspiring, or whatever.
Yeah.
The pop Christian station.
Yeah.
And you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Guess again.
Yeah.
What station? Tucson station.
Oh man, what is that? I forget all these stations because I don't listen to them. But KRQ.
Okay. No, you're still kind of cold in the wrong direction.
What's the ones that does classic rock? I don't know.
Oh, like KLPX.
Yeah,
used to be. I don't even know if that still exists.
I don't listen to the radio.
Wrong.
Spotify? Top 100
No,
on Spotify?
this was a Tucson, Arizona radio station.
I don't know.
That was on KXCI.
Oh, KXCI.
That's the
public radio kind of thing.
This is going to be local DJs and usually stuff that's kind of out there, a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. In fact, by the way, that song is a little obscure, and it sounds like a K-Love song 2/3 of the time. There are some moments where it changes, but I had KXCI on, and I went, "What in the world is this doing on KXCI? What is this?" And so I Shazammed it. And it is absolutely, first of all, it draws in religious language, and it's doing it on purpose. It's actually kind of meant to get you thinking you're listening to a religious song. But it's interesting that the chosen sound was that standard
praise music process.
Yeah. Marketable pop inspirational sound.
Yeah.
And I immediately sent it to Mike and Cruz at the church, and I was like, what do you think of this? And it, like I said, it varies at points, but the artist, I think, knows he would get a hearing
right
by using that sound.
That's interesting. Yeah.
There are songs, I think, on KRQ that would be more of our like just general pop. absolutely in country music.
You're so much more knowledgeable on all this.
Thank you. That feels good to hear. Say it again.
You are so much more knowledgeable on these Christian music things.
But I've noticed that popular country is sometimes actually bridging. So you've got Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll doing songs together that sound like pop Christian sort of.
Do you know a guy named Josiah Queen? Okay, because his song "Dusty Bibles" is a big one, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the country space, it's almost so there used to be the Nashville sound in country that was kind of this smoothed out version of country that the real raw country people sort of hated.
Right.
Almost the new Nashville sound is K-Love.
Okay.
Is pop Christian-y.
Pop Christian-y.
I'm just saying.
Do you think there's a lot of Christian musicians within the country scene, or do you?
I think that's part of it, but I think it's what you referenced before we got on the microphone. It's working. People are flocking to it. It's marketable. They're not doing it because it's new or they're doing it because it's hot. It's what people want.
Yeah.
People want generic Christian pop.
Yeah, that
feels weird to say.
Yeah.
What is happening? Yeah.
Yeah. So here's just so people know what we're talking about. So the Brandon Lake
Jelly Roll
and his Hard Fought Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Enjoyed its 11th straight week in the Billboard's 100.
Yeah.
In early May, topping out at 40 that week. And then there is, do you know, Forrest Frank's single "Your Way's Better"?
I'm aware of that one and how that and there are some articles out there about how this stuff's getting into the top charts.
Yeah. And I just wanted to give people a little bit of the I don't know.
If we're supposed to be naming stuff, I'll name this more obscure one.
Yeah, you should do
Give
that.
It Time by Goose. I
Give
have
It
not
Time by Goose.
had a chance. I want to know more about it. I haven't had a chance to dig in. I just heard it the other day on the radio. Yeah.
Right. So here's just the normal. Then I'll stop breaking my rule and take the cell phone off of the table here. But in 2024, really Christian music was the 4th fastest growing genre on the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now, what I love about a good Faith Over Breakfast, which is what this is, especially since you made coffee. Thank you for the coffee.
You're welcome.
It's like almost the good old days.
Now, if you had brought us a breakfast burrito from Nico's, I'd have been happy.
Me
or
too.
Or Paco's.
Because I haven't had breakfast.
No,
Eric.
man. So this is Faith Over.
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, he forgot.
What is? Oh, no. No.
Faith Over Forgotten.
I 100% had breakfast.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. I'm having issues.
You may need some time off.
Okay. Cool. I had breakfast. That's a nice. It's a good realization to have.
Yeah, it is.
When you're not really sure. So I feel better now. We are not schooled in this. We're not coming in having done a bunch of homework. So that's what I like about what we do.
Okay, you love shared ignorance.
Shared ignorance is double bliss.
This is going somewhere today.
It's going somewhere today. So we don't know all the detail. There's probably some back-end information, and somebody more knowledgeable could tell you about that. Great, go listen to him. We don't know.
No, we don't.
Which gives us an advantage because we're just like you people.
We are,
and we're going to speculate.
Yeah, and here's the beauty of it: we're not referencing any information other than what I just quickly read in an article for us.
And my anecdotal experience of listening to the radio in my car the other day. Yeah. So, and shout out to KXCI, by the way. I love our goofy local radio station where you hear I love Shazamming things and going, this has only been Shazammed 76 times. Good job, KXCI. I like that you play that stuff, even though sometimes it's unpredictable, but I can live with that.
Yeah.
So thanks to local radio.
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think this stuff's popular?
Yeah. So I think we are seeing this shift, and this happens all the time, right? Where you, in all kinds of parts of culture, the pendulum just swings back and forth into what is having an impact and what people are resonating with. But I think we are living in such an uncertain time, and I think Christian traditional Christian worship music produces easy melodies to learn and then corporate singing together. Like it helps you feel connected to a larger body. So you go and sing with a church, or even when you're singing in your car, you're kind of like singing with your church in a way. And so or a group of people. And so you feel connected, and it gives you a sense of, I can do this. And then the music kind of can penetrate part of your heart a little bit. And
I mean, even the positive, encouraging, to, quote Caleb's mantra, is there's an appeal to it. It's interesting because I was going to ask you, and let's just pause. Do you like pop Christian music, Eric? Do you listen to it much?
Not at all.
Right. Me either. And I'm sorry to our listeners who love it. Wouldn't it be nice to share that experience with us?
I would love
to. But I don't, and I want to start with that for a second. Why do you not resonate with it?
I think part of it, I grew up in it, and so it has like it and it was unsatisfying at a certain point.
Yeah.
And so
it was all around you. It wasn't engaging. It wasn't going where your head was going, maybe, or.
Yeah. Well, I think, to be honest with you, like on one end, there's the hymns, and I think I grew up with the hymns in a sense being poorly sung. Sort of in that 80s weird era where they were sort of
starting to try to modernize, but barely, and you weren't getting.
Or it was he's turned to page 235. We're going to sing stanza 1 and 3, and then there's
somebody on like maybe a piano or a guitar
organ.
Or
the organ.
I actually feel like if the big old pipe organ
now, it would mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Then as a kid, it just felt
like, what the.
And heck? Then there was the shift to like the simple, like worship songs that were very repeated, and you enjoy it first as a kid, like Lord, I lift your name on high, and there's you have parts and all that. But then it's like, okay, but where's the substance? So I kind of moved away because the substance and the quality of the musicianship in the songs were not there.
Mm-hmm. They did have a good synthesizer from time to time.
Or just the repetitiveness. It's not even the quality. It's like not that they weren't good musicians or good songs. They just were the same song.
And a lot of them sounded the same. And that's still true.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, no, they have a particular.
That's why when that song came on KXCI, I was like, I know this song. I don't know this song, but I know this. Yeah.
And the fact that as I got older, then there was less and less connection to my local body. It was just whoever, you sing, Matt Redmond, or you sing Jesus Culture, or you sing stuff from the Vineyard. Like there was, but there wasn't anything locally.
The music didn't bring a continuity anymore.
Yeah.
It actually exhibited the divide.
Yeah. And so I don't know. So I shifted out of all that. But, and also the other thing is, like, I would say in the early 90s, secular music, mostly all the way through the 90s and early 2000s, was like alt music was wrestling with really difficult ideas and spiritual concepts in a way that Christian music is just not wrestling. There was no lament. That's it.
Yeah.
I like having a couple good anthem songs. I like singing them with people. I like being connected to the world. But there's no lament. Lament is a big part of life.
Yeah.
Because loss is right and left all the time. And I don't think Christian music ever really offered that.
Yeah.
So, it may start offering it now, but I don't know.
But the secular music of your age did offer it, and a lot of it.
It did.
And so here would be here's some general theory. You can speak onto this more. But okay, so you've got the 60s and part of the 70s are very destabilized, right?
Yeah.
And you've got in the music scene, but you're responding to the 50s. And so if you go back, I grew up on the music of the 50s with my mom, and so
sure,
you got Andy Williams, Blue Moon River, or whatever, and I just would be like, okay, whatever, like Moon River, what is that, and then the 60s, 70s, the music is kind of like pushing to like break up the monotony of it. Like it's all positivity and sounds the same, and like that just wasn't what was happening in the world. But then you get into the 80s and 90s, and there's a response to what people experienced in the 60s to early 70s, and they were like, hey, hold on. And so then you get, you got like Steve Green, people need the Lord, just like, let's just people need the Lord. Like, let's just sing it like crisp, clean Moon River style,
And with powerful vocals.
With some powerful vocals, you
know?
Yeah. And things of that nature that felt stabilizing and simple and clean and clear. And then here comes, so you're a little older than me, but you remember Steve Green.
I've met Steve Green.
You met Steve Green.
I met David Meese.
Yeah.
I've met those people.
And my parents are older, so
I went to choir concerts and Krumbacher.
Yeah. Our parents are similar age range. Yes. So even though you're older than me,
sure,
the parental influence.
We may have been at the same Steve Green concert. You might have been a little baby.
It's possible. It's so possible.
Oh, my goodness.
And so then the response to that is, and you took a lane of the grunge kind of stuff, but there was a Christian version of that, sure. But also the secular version's more relatable. For me, my version of it is, I grew up on my dad's, 80s to early 90s country, which had some stabilizing tones, sure. Whether it was little George Strait, little Alan Jackson, very simple, clear vocals, so on, and the Steve Green and stuff. And then to me, the voice that broke through, oddly enough, Dr. Dre. Why?
I don't know.
I'm a white kid in the trailer park. Huh? There's that. But it wasn't because I related to the streets of L.A. as much as I thought I might at the time. But it was that he was complaining and fighting against something.
Right. That makes sense, yeah.
And that angst, resonated.
Yeah.
And for others, it was the hardcore that was coming out around the same time. So that happened in, what do you say, late 90s to early 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the pendulum is swung, I think. That's what we're seeing. I think people have lived in such unsettled times and with so little regularity that there's a longing for simple, clear things that make you feel like you can just connect with anybody.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying, I don't think it's as much about the Christianity of it as the vibe of it, the feeling it gives you. Just like I didn't really relate to the streets of LA. I think could some people meet Jesus through a song? Sure, absolutely. Yeah. But I think it's more it just gives you a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would say is just to talk about, so the early 2000s, late 1990s, I would go around to churches and I would play, If God Were One of Us. Yeah. I would have played Creed's, I should have been there. If God was one of us. Yeah, there you go. And I played Creed's, I should have been there on Sunday morning, banging my head against the pew, like this whole, I need to go, this angstiness.
Yeah.
And, and try to dissect what's happening within culture through music to help, because it was very much there. And it was the beginning of what I would call the great, sort of Marxist third wave feminist experiment over the last 25, Freudian experiment over the last 25 years. We've kind of seen it now float completely to the surface and have just a huge impact, which then leaves people in 2025 feeling very afloat, because it's just a deconstructing, separating of the genders, blurring those out, and everything being kind of relative, and everything being chaos, and everything being in a sense highly narcissistic. And so now you're just looking for a place to belong. You're looking for just some stability. You're looking for some hope. You don't like postmodern deconstruction. You don't like postmodern or meta-modern, whatever it is. You just want something where you can plant your feet and say, okay, this is stable. And so much so, like my wife was talking to me about a podcast she was listening to where people sent in a question and then they go interview someone to try to figure it out. Yeah. And the question that people sent in was, what does it feel like to believe in God? Yeah. So they went and interviewed this rabbi. And at the end of it, he said, you know what? They asked, like, so what should you do if you don't have faith? And he said, well, you should pray. Because even if you don't believe in God, you need to have gratitude in your life.
Right.
You need to let go in your life. And that's part of what the process of prayer is. Well, I don't think 25 years ago that would be something that would just be acceptable within the genre that people are in. It would have been
laughed out of the room. Right?
Yeah. Now people are saying, we need to take something beyond ourselves. We need to figure out something beyond ourselves. Like the experiment is crashing big time, right? Of the last 120 years or so. And so we need to figure something else out. So I think Christian music's just it is stable. It provides at least a minimum light truth, if not deep truth. Like it offers you a path towards something bigger than yourself.
It's interesting because being a child of my era, I like to pop into shows. I'm especially into hip-hop shows. Went to one. Was that last night? Everything's
up. Do you dance at them?
Do I dance? Not really. I do. There's a movement.
Bob your head
There's
a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable with the term bobbing.
Okay, I'm old. So.
Yeah.
Does your head move up and down to the beat?
Yeah, to the beat. Yeah, the head moves to the beat.
Tapping your hand against the side of your leg.
No, that's more
a raised fist
from time to time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, every once in a while. Okay. So yeah, I went out to one, and
do you wear baggy, saggy pants when you?
I wear the same thing.
Okay,
like if I would. Yeah, okay. I'm not changing clothes to go. Yeah.
That's checking.
And here's the thing: is because the artists I like are older, they're all kind of lame like me.
Okay. Gotcha.
Not that I'm on par with the style, but I'm noticing.
I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
We all stop caring the older we get.
Yeah, even musicians.
Even musicians.
Well, when I went to see Bad Religion, I was like, this guy's wearing a polo shirt. The lead singer I think he was wearing like. The shoes looked like podiatrist recommended, you know?
He got his khakis, his podiatrist recommended shoes, and a polo shirt. That's like, when Bad Religion has really gone bad. Okay.
Yeah. But my point. So I go out to these kind of shows, just went to one. And there's something these artists are still kind of going like saying things like stand up, fight, F this kind of thing that's happening, but the audience response is pretty bland.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing a lot of people just like riled. They're like, yeah, I know this is part of the song, like this is part of the deal, but they're not. It's and I get it. When I hear that, I don't have a lot of desire to go rally hard because it feels like the world's rallied so much and fought so much. The desire I have is that if somebody could like encourage how to be okay right now, as opposed to like how to I don't need an artist right now to tell me to yell at somebody. Everybody's online yelling at everybody about everything.
Right. Gotcha.
Like, I don't need help figuring out how to do that.
Right. You don't need help feeling how to be negative and mean. It's all in front of you all the time.
So I'm experiencing that I like these artists. It's the sound. It's things I enjoy, but I'm not resonating the same as I used to with some of the messaging. And I wonder if that's part of the same movement, right? Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And I think what's interesting to me is I do think the younger millennials and Gen Zers are really not angsty like their older millennial brothers and sisters and ex or parents or really old brothers and sisters. Like they're not angsty like them. They're actually hopeful and trying to figure out how to deal with life. And they're saying this experiment that you all worked on and your parents is not working. Like sort of the deconstruction of everything, it's not working. And so they're willing to embrace positivity even if they don't even fully agree with it or even believe fully in faith. They're like, I want to embrace good things, not things that are asking me to tear things down.
Now, I think there's a subset that would disagree with that.
Oh no!
But I think we're talking in broad terms.
We have to be talking in broad terms.
Yeah.
I mean, and having the exceptions actually say maybe what we're saying is true. Because there are there's plenty, and it's a subset.
There's always exceptions.
And even when the data I read, it's not like it's the number one song. It's topping at number 40 in the top 100.
But the fact that this stuff is resonating that much is an indicator. Of a trend.
Right. It is an indicator of
and
a trend.
In a way, I get it. I maybe have heard the song Hard Fought. I know I've heard it. Yeah. Have I sat down and listened to it? I don't know. I haven't. But I get the sentiment. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I can remember going around speaking to people my age now and really encouraging them to look at what secular music is saying and as a way of thinking about the culture as a missionary.
Yeah.
And I have to confess that in some ways I have done that now, but in some ways because everything has become so tribal and so there isn't a unified thing, right? Yeah. I mean, even, I don't know if I talked about this in podcast, but I did this little experiment, which is not necessarily mean anything, but I went around to all the 13 to 16-year-olds that I knew, and I was like, what connects you? Like, if you were to say, what's the one thing that if you stepped into a room with another 16-year-old, you could talk about?
Yeah.
And they all stared at me blankly and tried to think it through. And finally,
I tend to hear video games.
Every single one, and mostly, I will confess, mostly it was girls that I was talking to. But video games was one that came up, and then the other one, the universal boys and girls, was Taylor Swift.
Oh.
She's the person that everybody listens to, and everybody knows their songs.
And even if you don't like it, you know about it.
Right. Yeah. It's a thing that connects you. Like, it's a cultural thing. Taylor Swift. Like maybe we would say, I don't know, Britney Spears, or for Gen Xers, or, Aguilera. Like, these are like pop stars.
I don't think they weren't on the same level as Taylor Swift.
Oh, they're not at all.
There were things on that level, but it wasn't them.
But she is that. And in a world of tribalism, she's mastered crossing over into all the tribes.
She's interesting because she does have her lines she'll draw and her opinions, but she doesn't engage them all the time.
Right. She's not a crusader in that sense.
She knows, and this is the genius of what she does, that wears people out, and you have to engage it in small doses and just have some good anthems and
she also
breakup
until
songs.
It was impossible, and I think she even still does it. Connected with so many of her fans.
Right, I've heard that.
She was kind of the artist of the people in a way when she began, and so she has a lot of loyalty that's spread out over the. So I think that's interesting to me because that wasn't true when I was, their age. There was very much I knew the main artists from each genre. We all watched the same movies. The television shows were all the same. We all watched the Cosby Show. We all, we all had a common experience narrated to us. We watched the same news shows because there weren't that many of them.
I've talked about this with my daughter and other people about just the cultural change that being able to curate our own playlists makes, as opposed to what we grew up with. To your point, now maybe you didn't all listen to the same radio station, but there were five decent options on the radio that a kid might relate to, and one of them you might not even like it, but if you're at a commercial break, you might switch over to it temporarily because it was better than a commercial.
Or if you were going to go dance, you listen to one, and if you were going to rock out, you're going to listen to another. It's but those were the only two options.
There was most of the way one music television station.
Yep.
You started to get the other ones would climb, but MTV had the space the majority of the time. Movies, you weren't streaming stuff on your phone. It's you go to Blockbuster and you either get something old or you get a new release. And most of the time you'd gather a group of your friends because it was expensive and you'd watch it together.
Yep.
And now it's all happening. People are doing that all by themselves and highly curated versions of it.
Yes.
So, my daughter likes some 90s George Strait because I have nostalgia for 90s George Strait, so I would play 90s George Strait. The chances of her best friend having that experience are very low.
Yes.
Their playlists are going to be extremely different. And so are there some shared songs? I think so, but I don't tend to hear about that. Like the new song that's coming out that she and her friends are all talking about or something.
I think there's the new music on whatever TikTok.
I was going to say,
so there's a trending TikTok.
It's usually not the music, it's learning the dance.
Yes. Yeah, so
and you perform it on TikTok and share your performance of it.
Yep. There's a lot of that.
But even that is not enjoying the music, it's sharing your ability to perform.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's a whole different world, and I don't and I think what I can diagnose is that, like for instance, our two churches are really good examples of this. In fact, our liturgies for the most part are very similar. We have different aspects of them. But if you go to the mission or you go to the village, it's obvious. It's kind of like going to to Nico's and going over to
You brought up Paco's.
But I would say as much as like going to the bucket spaghetti place. Like there are two local things. They feed you food, but they're really different. And they don't, like, they're so similar and yet they don't connect in a sense, because they become tribal in there. And this is true. I see it in a lot of church plants, in a lot of different, like the way people curate their stores, like local stores are like so careful to curate it, make it different.
But there's sometimes a sameness in the different, like having run a boutique store.
Yes.
It's funny because we would go to other towns and walk into the boutique store and I'd go, yeah, this isn't ours, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's part of the deal too. I don't know. It's just interesting to me. You have to be able to sort of figure out what's being said to it. And I think it's also now just more narrowed in age. Like what's being said to 10 to 14-year-olds is different than what 14 to 16-year-olds are experiencing. And, it's gotten more micro.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like trying to dissect it and bring the gospel is I think it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting because, men are all going back to church. There's a lot of men are going back to church. It's the first time apparently in history the recent history where more men are going to church than women. Because women are leaving. But they're probably the people listening to the worship music too.
Yeah.
They're the ones who it's meaningful. They're looking for meaning.
Yeah. And it is, that's the women leaving doesn't sit well with me at all. I hear a lot of celebration about men going back to church, and I am glad for that. But I think the women checking out is an indicator of something we need to look at.
Well, do you remember, and maybe,
obviously,
I think you remember this because you and I kind of grew up in church planning at similar times, and it was so much geared towards men are leaving the church, and we need to get men. The worship music needs to be more manly.
There was a version of that. Yeah, it was like the counter to the probably feminist side of the equation, or they were both there. But yes, there was a lot of that.
There was a lot.
Why Men Hate Going to Church book.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. I really have this weird feeling that 10 years from now, you and I are going to be listening to people talk about how the church is too masculine.
Oh, yeah.
It needs to be shifted to being more feminine. We need to really work in bringing women back into the community.
Well, seriously, just to, on that point, one of the things that's getting a lot of high praise, and I don't think is being assessed as much right now, is the movement back into, high Anglican and Orthodox and stuff like that. So one of the draws to those things is there's clear rules, repetition, structure.
Right.
It's like a military.
Right.
And I don't mean that to be derogatory. I mean, the same draw that draws the young man to say, I need to get my life together, I think I might go enlist, is similar.
Yeah.
And what there's less space for is dialogue, wrestling, sharing of emotion.
Totally.
And I there are people I know that where the guy loves it and the woman does not. That change. Now, there are women who I think are uncomfortable with the typically feminine stuff.
Right.
Who do appreciate that more and are in that space.
Right.
I get that. And I'm not saying that there's a lot of gray here, but I think that's an indicator of the masculinizing of the church culture.
Right.
And the typically feminine gift to the church will soften it and say, hold on, we need everything not to be regimented and planned, and we need space to be seen and heard and to weep.
Sure.
And to stop and pay attention. Yeah.
Right. No, I like that. It's good. Yeah, it's all that out of Christian music hitting the charts. We'll have to watch this and see if if more and more artists find an uptick. I know Spotify has had a big time uptick on the play on Christian music, but I've just heard that in passing.
I have heard it. Yeah. I have noticed the sound out there, or the billboard, where where was I? I was in some city and I was like, there's Brandon Lake on a billboard. Okay. Yeah. Who would have thought? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think some of this is, I think the whole alt-right movement and just even some of the right-wing commentators, and not even ones that I would disagree with, but they have been they have learned to use technology and to get their message out really well.
Uh-huh.
And so, I think we're seeing some of the...
Some of it's just strategic.
Yeah, the fruit of this process. So,
yeah,
good or bad, it's the fruit of it. So,
well, thanks for talking to me about it. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was an interesting podcast.
Yeah,
yeah. If you, just as a note as we end, if you are like, why are you guys talking about this? Well, you didn't send us a thing to talk about,
so this is what you get.
This is what you get. It's
really your fault.
It is.
Okay. If you want to do something about it, if you want to make better choices, you can send an email to faithoverbreakfast@gmail.com, or you can message us right through the podcasting app, and you'll feel a lot better about making good, structured choices. I
think you will.
And after that, you could go put on Hard Fought Hallelujah and just sit down and say, I followed the plan.
Yeah.
I'm a better person.
Yeah. I'm totally with you on this. You've been listening to Faith Over Breakfast with Pastor Eric Siepen and Pastor Andy Littleton. Please share us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you.